Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a blessed Sunday. And in the news this morning, U.S. memo flags 4 Caribbean countries for possible travel restrictions. 4 of the 5 Eastern Caribbean nations offering citizenship by investment programs have found themselves on a new U.S. State Department watch list. Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis, and St. Lucia are listed in a leaked State Department memo obtained by the Washington Post, which reveals that the Donald Trump administration is reviewing potential visa bans or other restrictions for nationals of 36 additional countries. The 4 Caribbean countries named in the memo have previously defended their CBI programs as legitimate tools for economic development with safeguards, including rigorous due diligence. According to the Post, the memo, signed by Secretary of State Marco Rubio and circulated to U.S. diplomatic missions over the weekend, gives the listed governments 60 days to meet newly defined benchmarks. Governments have been given a deadline of 8 a.m. next Wednesday to submit an initial action plan outlining how they intended to meet the requirements, according to the Washington Post. A key concern cited in the memo is the sale of citizenship without a residency requirement. The memo also referenced other issues, such as alleged incidents of anti-American activity in the U.S. by nationals of listed countries. However, the memo also suggests that countries willing to accept third country nationals removed from the U.S. or to enter a safe third country agreement could alleviate some of Washington's concerns. 175 killed in traffic crashes since January, says ITA. The number of people killed in traffic crashes since the start of the year has risen to 175 as at Friday, June 13. The deaths have resulted from 158 fatal crashes, according to the Island Traffic Authority's latest daily crash statistics released on Friday. It said fatalities decreased by 5% when compared to prior year, while fatal crashes are down 1% when compared with a similar period in 2024. To date, motorcyclists account for 48 or 27% of all road deaths since January 1. Pedestrians account for 39 or 22% of the fatalities. Private motor vehicle drivers account for 36 or 21%, and the private motor vehicle passengers account for 27 or 15%. 10 pedal cyclists and 7 pillion passengers have also been numbered among those who perished in traffic crashes this year. Meanwhile, vulnerable road users, pedestrians, pedal cyclists, motorcyclists, and pillion passengers combined account for 59% of the fatalities since the start of the year. Males account for 85% of all road deaths, with females accounting for 15%. Veteran fisherman warns colleagues to be smart. With the Atlantic hurricane season now underway, fishermen along the southeast coast of St. Elizabeth are bracing for what could be another rough stretch of high winds and heavy losses. But the seasoned fisherman Kenroy Kendog Trenchfield is issuing a stern warning that if any man goes out to sea during bad weather, he's on his own. All I can tell him is whenever the weather is not good, don't go out there, because if you go out there and break down, me not coming out there for you. Me not going out there in a no weather. So stay here with me, Trenchfield warned. Trenchfield, who is almost 70, has spent nearly 50 years fishing off Jamaica's southern coast, and said experience and loss have taught him the hard way. Me think Hurricane Beryl was the worst one for me. You know, Gilbert never do me so much things. All my furniture out in my yard mash up. Gilbert never do me that, he said, recalling how the 2024 storm devastated both his home and livelihood. When Beryl hit, it wiped out not just his furniture, but his fishing pots, the very tools of his trade. It took all of our pots, so we never had no work. And pots expensive, very expensive, he said. Me have couple roll of wire, but me not get back none of the traps out there yet. Though the sea has sustained him for decades, the hurricanes have never been unforgiving. Trenchfield has said his roof was ripped off 3 times, forcing him to take matters into his own hands. Decides me now go for, so me deck it, just get in the windows, but me no get no door yet cause me never have the cash, he shared. Me still live there with my wife, children and granny. The veteran fisherman who pilots a boat named the Bulldog, which is inspired by his own nickname, said he now keeps a close eye on both the weather apps and the natural signs. It come on your phone and tell you when a bad weather, but me know when me hear rumbling and lightning, a bad weather that, he said. While many older school fishermen swear by observing birds flying inland, cloud patterns, or even a sudden stillness in the sea breeze, Trenchfield has said technology now plays a big role in early warning. Despite the knowledge and the tools available, he is worried that some fishermen will take the chance to venture out. Meanwhile, Dr. Gavin Bellamy, Chief Executive Officer of the National Fisheries Authority, has commended the nation's fishers for their increased awareness and improved preparedness when it comes to safeguarding lives and livelihoods during storms. Last year, we had 100% compliance on the petrokeys or people returning to land, Bellamy told the news. He said that the fishers also protected their vessels very well, adding that only a few were damaged. We have gone to a stage where fishermen are now compliant to the safety precautions. I was so proud of them last year, how they responded to the warnings, and I hope to see that level going forward for the hurricane season, he added. Clarendon Councillor critical of police probe into Derrica Rogers' disappearance and murder. Councillor Carlton Bailey, who represents the Milk River Division in Clarendon Southwest, is raising concerns over the police's handling of the investigation into the disappearance and the subsequent death of 19-year-old Derrica Rogers. Rogers, a sales representative from Gravel Hill in the parish, was reported missing on May 27. Her remains were discovered on June 1 in a sewage pit in Milk River. According to police reports, about 8 a.m., relatives found Rogers' body in the sewage pit located in a yard in the community and summoned the police. The lawmen sought the assistance of the Jamaica Fire Brigade, and on their arrival, the body, which was in a state of decomposition, was removed from the cesspit. Following the grim discovery, the house on the property where Rogers' remains were found was firebombed, further deepening tensions in the community. Bailey said he was dissatisfied with the initial police response. I don't think the police moved with alacrity in regard to the incident. Based on what I hear, the police had received a certain information in regard to a certain individual, an alleged suspect, and they were told where that individual was that night. They made no move, only to find out that that individual left the island the following morning, said Bailey. Derek Rogers, the father of the deceased, made similar allegations during an interview with a journalist on the day his daughter's remains were found. He claimed he had received word that his daughter was seen in the company of a man and believed the individual may have had information about her whereabouts. Bailey added, I strongly believe that if they had responded, you would not need to be looking overseas to get back that person. Responding to Bailey, Assistant Superintendent of Police Adrian Fleming said he could not comment on the specifics of the investigation, but noted that the probe was progressing and the suspect was already in custody. Fleming said the police were following strong leads and that the investigation was at an advanced stage. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.